I'm Courtney Act and I'm an ally to people living with HIV. So the thing about HIV, even in 2021, there is still a whole bunch of stigma surrounding status. Despite the science, despite the tools and the technology, the AIDS crisis in the 80s and 90s was a scary time. HIV was taking people's lives and there was a lot of fear in the messaging and just a lot of fear in the world. But the wonderful thing is that we have gotten to this point now. There's been so much research and development into treatment and prevention that we've arrived at a place now where the risk is able to be managed and able to be mitigated completely in the case of somebody with an undetectable status. I remember the first time that I heard U equals U, which means undetectable equals untransmissible, which essentially means that someone who is HIV positive, who is on sustained treatment and achieves an undetectable viral load can't pass on HIV to anybody else. Without a condom, doing all sorts of sex things that you might want to do. For me, going on PrEP and being aware of the science, I was really fascinated by what happened. I had sex for the first time without fear. And I think so many queer men have that fear associated with sex. And the fascinating thing about trusting science, good science, is that it takes away any of those past conditionings that you have, and you can just be like, oh, I can just have sex now and really enjoy it and not have that fear associated with it. Like when you compare the efficacy of PrEP and the efficacy of someone who is undetectable, like you can't contract HIV in those situations. And so the stigma is unjustified because there is no risk. Not only is there no risk, there's never been a reported case of somebody who has an undetectable status passing on HIV. Like that's science. Many people who have had a lot of sex so that we can find out this information. So I think it's incumbent on all of us to not let that research and all of that sex go to waste and be aware of the science and be aware that people who have an undetectable viral load can't pass on HIV. And that means that everybody gets laid more. Like, who doesn't want that, right? It's time to trust the science. Learn more about HIV at endinghiv.org.au.